Math Blast 10, Measuring Capacity and Mass. If a student fills the beaker to the arrow, how much water will be in the beaker? Looking at the beaker, I see that we start at 100 milliliters, 200 milliliters, and then go up to 1,000 milliliters when the beaker is full here. So, with nothing, we would have 0 milliliters, and the first tick mark here is 100 milliliters. Since the second tick mark is 200 milliliters, I see that we're counting by 100 milliliters. In other words, every little tick mark is 100 milliliters. With that said, we can say 100, 200, 300, 400 milliliters is where the arrow is. The scale shows the weight of the box. How much does the box weigh? Taking a look at the scale, I notice that the units that we're dealing with are kilograms. At the top, I have 0, and it's counting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12 when it makes a full circle here. But every other dark tick mark here is labeled. So I notice that the one in between 0 and 2 is 1. All right, counting by 1 kilogram for every dark tick mark, I can get around past 8 and know that this one is 9 kilograms. All right, addition, add 52 plus 87. Keep in mind that when we add, we're finding what we call a sum. The answer to the addition problem is the sum. I like how I have my place values already lined up here. I know that it's important when I'm adding to add like units, 1s to 1s and 10s to 10s. So I have 2 1s and 7 1s, which is 9 1s. I have 5 10s and 8 10s, which is 13 10s. I'll leave 3 of those as 10s, and I'll bundle 10 of the 10s and bring them up here to make a larger unit, a hundreds digit. There are no other hundreds, so it just comes down as 139. 116 plus 24. For this problem, I'm going to use the arrow method. I'll start with 116, and I'm going to add the 4, because I know that'll take me to a next 10. That's 120. And then I'm going to add 10 more. That's 130. Now keep in mind, I've only added a total of 14. I need to add 24, so we're going to add another 10. Oops. Adding 10 more puts me at 140. And now the total that I've added is 24. The sum to 116 and 24 is 140. Rounding. Round 152 to the nearest 10. I'm going to draw a vertical number line here. And think about how many 10s make up my number now. I'm going to go all the way to the 10s place. The 5 is in the 10s place, so 15 10s make up my number. In standard form, that's 150. If I add one more 10, we would be at 16 10s. In standard form, that's 160. The midpoint, the number right between 150 and 160, is 155. Now I'm going to place my number 152 on the vertical number line. I notice that 152 falls below the midpoint. So 152 is going to round down to 150. Round 152 to the nearest 100. All right, this time on my vertical number line, since I'm rounding to the nearest 100, I'm going to ask myself how many hundreds make up my number. I see that 100 makes up the number. In standard form, we write that as 100. Add one more 100, we would have 200s. In standard form, I know that's 200. The midpoint, the number right between 100 and 200, is 150. To place my number on the number line, I will put it right here. It's right above 150, and so 152 is going to round up to 200. 152 rounded to the nearest 100 is 200. Elapsed time word problem. Alexa put brownies in the oven at 2:15. They need to bake 42 minutes. What time should the brownies be taken out of the oven? Well, for this problem, I'm going to use the arrow method. I'm going to start at 2:15. It's 2:15 p.m. and I'm going to add 40 minutes plus 40 minutes. So 2:15 and 40 would be 2:55. And then I need to add 2 more minutes. So plus 2 more minutes would put it at 2:57. Now keep in mind it's p.m. So 2:57 p.m. is when the brownies need to come out of the oven. And you'll see that my 40 and my 2 here makes up the 42 minutes that I needed to let the brownies bake. Multiplying multiples of 10. 9 times 20. I think of that as 9 times 2 tens. And now I have this basic fact 9 times 2, which is 18. But these 18s are tens, so I need to put a 0 here so that I have 18 tens, which in standard form is 180. 3 times 5 tens gives me a basic fact that I can deal with. 3 times 5 is 15, but it's not 15 ones, it's 15 tens. And 15 tens is written as 150.